Two platforms and two very different experiences. And one very important question that I get asked literally every single week. Should I use Sarwa or Interactive Brokers? By the end of this video, you will know exactly which one is right for you at your current stage. Hello fellow Arbab, it's time to boss your money. I'm a finance and audit professional with 18 years in the industry and I use both these platforms personally. Not to test them for YouTube, I actually have real money sitting in both right now. So today we're putting them head to head. You've already seen tons of videos about my Sarwa accounts on this channel. And last week I walked you through why I use IBKR because both platforms are genuinely good. They're just built for completely different investors. Here's what we are covering: fees, investment options, platform experience, who each one is actually for, and the exact moment I realized I needed to switch from one to the other. And we'll get to exactly what that sign is, but let's first look at a few differences between the two platforms. Signing up to Sarwa is as simple as signing up using the link, upload your Emirates ID, answer a risk questionnaire, transfer dirhams from your local bank, Emirates NBD, ADCB, whatever, and you're investing. The whole process is genuinely beginner friendly. As a first-time investor, you will not feel lost. The app holds your hand and that's not an insult. That's by design. Minimum to start is just $500, and if you decide to go with Sarwa, sign up with the link below and you will get up to 3,000 dirhams in referral bonuses, free money on top of your first investment. Not bad. Interactive Brokers is more involved. You'll need your passport, Emirates ID, proof of address, and a bit of patience. The onboarding is thorough, which makes sense given it is FCA regulated, but it's not complicated, just more detailed. As UAE residents, you open through IBKR UK, and as of 2025, you can fund directly in AED through their First Abu Dhabi Bank account. Same day settlement, no international wire fees, at a fixed exchange rate. That's actually a massive improvement from a few years ago. I'll try this out and record it for you. Subscribe if you want to see that. There's no minimum deposit to open the account, and if you decide to go with IBKR, sign up with my link in the description and you can earn up to $1,000 in Interactive Brokers shares when you fund your account. Here's the verdict: Sarwa for ease and Interactive Brokers for completeness. But my winner in this category goes to Sarwa. Sarwa has three options when it comes to investing using their platform. First, let's have a look at Sarwa Invest. Sarwa Invest gives you an automated portfolio of ETFs based on your risk level. Stocks, bonds, and a bit of Bitcoin if you're at a higher risk level. You don't pick anything, they pick it for you. That's the deal. Is it a great portfolio for beginner? Absolutely yes. Globally diversified, automatically rebalanced, dividend reinvested, and consistent. The ETFs are solid, but they are US domiciled. And for those of us in the UAE thinking about long-term tax efficiency, that's a bit of a limitation. Then we have Sarwa Trade. Sarwa Trade is a completely different beast. Individual stocks, fractional shares, crypto, and even ETFs like VOO and VTI. You can start with tiny amounts, which is great if you want to start small and grow gradually. And finally, we have Sarwa Save. You can expect returns of around 4% per annum, and they have a Sharia compliant option as well. For your emergency fund, this is genuinely better than most UAE bank savings account. But personally, I use the Mashruq Neo Plus account right now because they offer 6.25% returns per annum. So if you can get a better rate elsewhere, it might be worth skipping the Sarwa Save feature altogether. And then there is Interactive Brokers. Stocks across 170-ish markets in 33 countries. ETFs including UCITS, Irish domicile ETFs, that make far more sense for us in the UAE. Bonds, options, futures, commodities, forex, you name it. If it trades somewhere in the world, IBKR probably has it.
Nice.
One thing that genuinely surprised me about Interactive Brokers, and pleasantly so, is just how spoiled for choice you are. One frustration I do have with Interactive Brokers, and I will be straight with you because that's the whole point of this channel, is that auto dollar cost averaging for UCITS ETFs doesn't work as cleanly as it does for US stocks. I can set it up, but it often gets cancelled. Probably something to do with lower trading volumes compared to something like VOO. I'm not too sure. but it is what it is. So for UCITS ETFs, I manually place my orders. Minor inconvenience, but worth knowing upfront. Here's my verdict. Sarwa is better for simplicity and managed investing. Interactive brokers for range, UCITS access, and building a serious global portfolio. My winner, interactive brokers. Nobody likes talking about fees, but you absolutely should, because fees compound just like returns do, except in the wrong direction. Let's talk about Sarwa Invest for a second. For accounts my size, Sarwa charges approximately 0.85% annual management fees, plus around 0.1% for the underlying ETF. So roughly 1% total drag every year. On $5,000, that's about $50 annually. Not enormous, but over 20 years at scale, it can add up. Is it worth it for a beginner who'd otherwise do nothing? 100% yes. You're paying for automation, for someone to rebalance your portfolio, for that hand-holding. It has real value. Sarwa Trade, on the other hand, has zero commission. You can buy fractional shares and there is no minimum. And then there's Sarwa Save. 4% is what you get. It's clean. No fees on that. IBKR's fee structure deserves its own dedicated video, and that's coming. But the short version is that it's incredibly competitive, especially for larger portfolios. The more you invest, the more IBKR's cost advantage compounds over time. For UCITS ETF specifically, which is what I mainly buy, the commissions are low and there are no custody fees above a certain threshold. No need to comment or anything. Full IBKR fee breakdown video is definitely coming. Here's my verdict for this section. Sarwa and Sarwa Trade in specific is unbeatable for simple fee structure. IBKR wins at scale. For managed portfolios, Sarwa's 1% fee is fair for beginners, but something to watch out as your portfolio grows. I'm going to call this section a tie. Now let's talk about the two platforms. Sarwa has a clean and intuitive platform. Anyone who can read can figure it out. The app is well designed. The dashboard shows you exactly what you need, nothing more. It's the kind of platform that makes you feel like you have your life together, even if everything else is chaos. And honestly, the platform has grown a lot since I first started using it back in 2020-21. Sarwa Trade, Sarwa Save, beneficiary nominations, Mubadala backing, and so on. This is a serious platform that took itself seriously, and it shows. One thing I'm not a big fan of though is some of the features like Sarwa Trade are only available on the mobile app and not on the web interface. I mean, why? Now let's talk about interactive brokers and where do I even begin? The desktop platform looks like it was designed back in 2003 by someone who had 17 monitors and considered too much information to be a compliment. It is powerful though. Unbelievably powerful, but it is not pretty, and there is a little bit of learning curve. The mobile app has improved significantly. It's actually usable now, but if you open IBKR expecting the same clean experience as Sarwa, you will have a bad time. Set your expectations accordingly. That said though, once you learn it, you won't want to go back. It's the Bloomberg terminal of retail investing. Here's my verdict on this section. Sarwa wins on experience. Interactive brokers wins on depth. For this section, I'm going to give the point to Sarwa for majority of the people. But me personally, I prefer using the ugly desktop IBKR platform to the sexy Sarwa app. Okay, hold the phone. Sarwa won, but this isn't exactly a fair competition. As I said right at the beginning, there isn't meant to be a winner. Use Sarwa if you're brand new to investing and the word ETF still sounds like a government department. Use Sarwa if you have under $1,000 a month to invest. At that scale, simplicity and consistency beats optimization every time. Use Sarwa if you want everything on autopilot. Set it, forget it, come back in 5 years and see what happened. Use Sarwa if you want Sharia compliant options. Use interactive brokers if you've already started with Sarwa or another platform and you're ready for more control. Use interactive brokers if you want UCITS ETFs, the Irish domicile funds like CSPX instead of a US domicile fund like VO. Use interactive brokers if you have finance, accounting or investing experience or you're willing to learn. The platform rewards knowledge. If terms like expense ratio, accumulating versus distributing, or withholding tax don't make your eyes glaze over, you'll be fine. Use interactive brokers if your monthly investable income has grown to a point where fees matter and want a wider menu of options. Use interactive brokers if you want to invest beyond just ETFs, global stocks, options, commodities, whatever direction you want to go. Let me just take a step back and tell you why I even made this video. I started with Sarwa, and honestly, for where I was at the time, it was the right call. Simple interface, automated portfolio, AED transfer straight from my bank account. No fuss. They had assigned my risk level as 4 and then I manually bumped it up to 5 because I wanted more equity exposure. And I just let it run. And it worked. 34.92% total returns on my Sarwa Invest account and 119% on my trade account with zero active management. None. I was busy making other financial mistakes. Decisions. And the thing was just quietly compounding in the background like a well-behaved employee. But then I hit a wall. I wanted UCITS ETFs, specifically Irish domiciled funds like CSPX and BWRA. The stuff that makes more sense for us here in the UAE from a tax efficiency perspective. Sarwa didn't have them. They still don't. And that was the moment I realized I had outgrown the platform. Not because it failed me, because I had grown. And that's when I opened IBKR. And let me tell you, going from Sarwa to IBKR is a bit like going from a nice automatic Toyota Camry to a manual Porsche 911. Both get you to where you're going, but one just has a lot more going on under the hood. If your investment level is equal to picking the car with the prettiest color, stick with Sarwa. If you're debating PDK versus DCT, IBKR is for you. That was such a stupid metaphor. But here's the sign I promised you at the start. The one that tells you it's time to make the move. The moment you open Sarwa and feel frustrated that you can't buy what you want, that is it. When you're Googling UCITS ETF and realizing they are not there. When you look at your growing portfolio and think, I want more control over exactly what's in here. Or you've been using IBKR already and want something way simpler. That frustration, that's not a problem. That's growth. That's your financial education catching up to your ambition. That's exactly where I was. And that's why I use both today. Sarwa doing what it does brilliantly in the background, IBKR for where I am now. Both are on the road, just different stages of my journey. Links for both the platforms are down below. Start where you are, not where you want to be. Now watch this video next, or this video where I disclose my full portfolio breakdown, including exactly which ETFs I buy on IBKR and why. Like and subscribe if this saved you from downloading the wrong app today. Yalla Arbab, now go boss your money.